who's the Minister for Apprenticeships and Skills. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Well, we heard the Prime Minister today talking about building back a better Britain after the COVID-19 crisis. But there is a fear amongst many people that the worst is still to come, with the furlough system about to come to an end and government support becoming much less generous. What do you have to say to those people?
There's no doubt that the disruption to our economy has been absolutely overwhelming in some sectors. I mean, some sectors have been growing and have been run off their feet, but others have been closed down almost entirely or have, had some restrictions. Clearly, some of that will be an acceleration of a trend of decline that was already there. We know that in terms of shift to online. Other sectors actually, when they can open again, will actually, completely bounce back. But there is no doubt that we have to deal with this uncertainty. That uncertainty could go on for a period of time. There's been unbelievable amount of support, £190 billion package to support businesses and people in furlough. But clearly, we can't go on doing that for a long time, which is why the Prime Minister's speech today was so important. And I didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, but really the key thing that we've announced is this investment in adult skills, so that every adult across the country can use a variety of different methods to train, to upskill, to go into a career perhaps they've always wanted, and the government will be there to support them in gaining new skills. We're living in a very fast-moving technological environment. We've all seen that with coronavirus, but we need to take that time, use this time wisely, and help people to get the skills that will make them super valuable in the workplace.
So you've talked just there about the uncertainty, the economic uncertainty that's facing many people and many businesses. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to the BBC investigation that's been done today, which has said that there were 58,000 jobs potentially to be cut from the workforce in August as employers looked forward to the end of the furlough scheme in October. And that's nearing 500,000 in the previous 5 months. Now, that is a very, very scary figure for people.
It is. That's why the Chancellor announced the plan for jobs and then the winter economic package. There's no doubt that we will see impacts of this disruption. You can't put a handbrake on parts of your economy and it not have any impact. We know that. That's why we've put all these various schemes in place to try and support people. So the plan for jobs, obviously, that's largely focused on youth employment. Youth unemployment is a particular concern for us right now. Often when you have this kind of economic disruption, it's young people that don't get the opportunities. People tend to try and stay in their jobs. People don't move around much. The labour market does become stochastic and young people suffer. That's why we've announced a whole raft of different types of schemes to address different young people, whether they stay on in study, whether they do an apprenticeship, whether they do a traineeship, or whether they go on the Kickstart scheme. So all of those schemes are designed specifically to address this problem, because every country across the world is dealing with this right now. We know that there are impacts, and we know that it unfortunately will impact some people's jobs.
And the fear is that if businesses are really badly hit and either fail to close or go under because of the pandemic, that there simply won't be the jobs for those people to go to.
I think the thing to remember, and this is something I definitely see in my role as Apprenticeships and Skills Ministers, for the first 6 weeks before the coronavirus, when I was doing this job, pretty much every sector that I was talking to was talking about massive skills shortages. And that ranged from construction, engineering, policing, education, anything to do with science, anything to do with digital, manufacturing, a whole host, health and social care, a whole host of areas that we have skills shortages. They are still there. And as I say, a lot of the economy, IT, tech, food, health and social care, anything to do with labs, testing, there's a lot more people required in those than we have. So what this actually is about taking the time, using the time to rebalance that, to give people the opportunity to move across. And many people have been doing this already. We've trained about nearly 2.5 million older apprentices, and that's all age groups since 2010. And they've actually used apprenticeship system to completely swap careers or to upskill careers. And I've seen many examples of this. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide that support because we do have massive skill shortages which are still there.
Okay. Can I take you back to the Chancellor's speech yesterday where he talked about balancing the books in the medium term? Many people are asking, what does that mean? Does this mean tax rises? And what is the medium term? Can you enlighten us?
Well, no, not really, but the Chancellor definitely will enlighten you in terms of when he makes those announcements. I mean, I'm sure they're looking at this.
But what is sorry to cut in, but what does he mean? What do you take him to mean by the medium term? Is that before the next election?
It could be. I don't know. The medium term in my mind is, beyond a couple of years up to, long term, probably over 10 years or so. So, it could do. But, I don't specifically know what time frame he's thinking of. In fact, they're probably working that out right now. This is still a bit of a moving feast, right? We've still got a lot of these schemes, a lot of announcements and a lot of investments still to make. But we know as Conservatives that over the time period that is a sensible time period. So short term it would be sensible, long term it's too long. Medium term is the sensible time period for us to address how we're going to balance the books and bring down our debt, which we know is something that concerns us. It should concern all of us. This is real. This is real, and it has an impact on our economy and our fiscal strength.
Should people expect to see tax rises in the medium term?
Well, that's not for me to answer, but the Chancellor definitely will set that out. They won't happen surreptitiously. They will be discussed and announced if that's to be the case.
OK, very good to talk to you. Thank you so much. That's Gillian Keegan, Minister for Apprenticeships and Skills.
Thank you.